And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Ticket to Ride Amsterdam. Ticket to Ride is a train connection route series which has taken the world by storm over the past 15 years. This particular one is in a set of smaller ones. They made a small Ticket to Ride that we're talking 15-minute games. I was kind of dubious that such a thing was possible, but with Ticket to Ride New York and Ticket to Ride London, they proved me wrong. Both of those were fun, fast, little Ticket to Ride style games. Both of them used a different mode of transportation than trains. We had double-decker buses and taxis in London and New York, respectively. And now here we have wagons in Amsterdam. This is probably the oldest setting that a Ticket to Ride game has taken place in. So let's take a look at what's a little bit different about this one, and we'll be back. In Ticket to Ride Amsterdam, the goal is to get the most points. Players are going to start with a hand of transportation cards that will match to the different colors shown on the board. You also have a pile of carts, and you'll start with some contract cards. The contract cards are going to be cards that you will try to connect those two cities on the board. So if I connect these two cities at the end of the game through a route somehow, I'll get 4 points. If I don't, I lose 4 points. On a player's turn, they have 3 things that they can do. They can draw more cards, so I could draw two. You draw 2 cards. I can draw this one, which is instantly replaced, from this pile. And then I could draw another one. Or I could draw one off the top and another one off the top. I could draw one of these and one off the top. It does not matter. The only rule is these are wilds, so if you take a face-up wild, that's the only card you get. However, if I take one here and then draw one off the top, and that's a face-up, and that's a wild, well then, hooray for me. I got 2 cards, and one of them's a wild. So that's one thing you could do. You can also play cards to connect 2 cities on the board. So I could play these 2 red cards, for example, to put 2 of my wagons here on these red tracks. If I do so, 2 tracks gives you 2 points. 1 gives you 1, 2 gives you 2, 3 gives you 4, 4 gives you 7. And if it's gray, it can be any color, but they all have to be the same color. If you're playing a 2-player game and I put them here in the red, then the other player can't go here. But in a 3 to 4 player game, multiple players can go and use both routes when there's 2 routes between cities. Not only that, but if you ever connect a route that shows these wagons on it, you're also going to take one of these cards and put it in front of you. At the end of the game, whoever has the most of these cards is going to get 8 points. Second place will get 6, 5, or 4, then 2, depending on how many players are in the game. And that's how the game plays. You're just going to go around. You're either going to be drawing these, playing them, or you could possibly draw more tickets if you've completed the ones that you have. After one person is down to 2 or less of their wagons, then that triggers the final round. Everyone gets one final turn. You reveal your tickets and you show whether you got the points or lost the points. You'll compare these contract cards. Whoever has the most will get these points. Add those up to the points you've got over the course of the game, and whoever has the most points is the winner. This is a really nice storage case for it. Look, these just slide in there and keep them nice and safe. It even comes with an extra of the cart. The carts themselves are nice. I like, finally, I'm playing a Ticket to Ride game where the trains, or the wagons in this case, are different colors than the ticket cards. Yeah, they look pretty cool. They're fun to put on the board. The board itself, it's fine. It's a normal Ticket to Ride map. And then the cards themselves are decent quality. They're small cards, but yeah, I've just gotten used to it at this point. It's a small game. So the main difference here is actually not something that's new to the Ticket to Ride series. It's just new to this mini-series, and that's essentially, I call it taking stocks. You are taking cards, and at the end of the game, whoever has the most of those wins. So building on the wagon spaces, which are on the outside of the board, gives you those cards, which give you points at the end of the game. And in a game with this few points, they can be conceivably the game ending and or changer. They're on the outside of the board because most of the routes, it's easier to connect through the board. So if you're connecting routes, you're probably not taking as many of those outside areas and therefore scoring that. So it's a balancing factor. With the 3 different mini Ticket to Rides, this is clearly my third favorite of them. I don't actively dislike Ticket to Ride Amsterdam, but I find it failing for one main reason, and that's I don't feel like the new mechanism is balanced. Now, far be it from me to say that a game is imbalanced, especially one as wonderful as Ticket to Ride series. So maybe if I played another 20 times, I'd figure it out. But in every game I played, after the first one, so the first game I played, I said, I was connecting my routes, and I was like, I'm just going to go for those extra stocks and see if that wins. And I won convincingly. And then I thought, I'm going to try that again. Every game, I've won every game of this that I played, going for just taking big routes, 4+ routes that give you 7 points, and then making sure they're on the outside if at all possible, and then I get a lot of points from having the most of those cards at the end of the game. And I don't care what you do ticket-wise, it doesn't stop me. Now, in the bigger games that use this thing, like, for example, the Ticket to Ride Germany or Ticket to Ride Pennsylvania, they kind of mitigate this because the game's long. So if you do that, those tickets are going to eventually overpower you. Someone who goes for tickets can win. But this game is so short that I am not convinced that that's a viable thing. Perhaps it is viable, but it certainly isn't as easy. And just throwing up routes and taking big amounts of points and then getting those stocks at the end of the game, that's easy. And because that's easy, I find that the game seems to have a little bit less depth than the other ones, which is why I'd get this one last. High production values. It is 15 minutes. I do enjoy playing it, but that kind of just rubbed at me a little bit when playing this because I felt like that particular mechanism wasn't as interesting as the ones in the other game. Your mileage may vary, of course. Anyway, hopefully that's enough to give you an idea if you want this one or not. That's Ticket to Ride Amsterdam. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time. Dice Tower Judgment, it's fun, but not as good as the other 2.